How do you feel about your daughter getting married?
Oh, well, they've known each other since 7th grade, and they never had any other boyfriend or girlfriend. And she went away to college, and he went away to a different college. And they didn't see each other for X number of years, and they just got together again. It's so surprising because there were a few years when they wouldn't even speak to each other. So, and he went to one college in Chico, and she went to another college, George Washington College, back east. And so there were years when they didn't see each other. So I guess what's meant to be ends up being. And they're just really just right for each other.
How does it feel to be giving your daughter away?
Mixed feelings.
Yeah.
I regret giving it away, but I recognize that's something that has to be, and it's your choosing.
I understand that that Jason actually asked you, which
yes.
is very unusual in this day and age.
Yes. He's an individual with a lot going for him, but Kathleen spotted him many years ago, and I think it was like in 9th grade. She said, "Dad, take me over to a certain place in town." She wanted to see if she could see if he's around, and he had recently moved to town, you know. So I was kind of curious. What are we going over there for? I don't have anybody I know there. And she says, "Well, I just want to ride around and see what's what over there." And it turned out that's what it was, you know.
You tell him, Liza. There's some Irish blarney going on.
How did he ask for permission to marry your daughter?
Very nicely, very politely, and straightforward. And there was no
Respectfully.
poking fun at, no nothing. He like a gentleman.
He actually asked you before he asked her?
Well, I believe so, but usually a fella doesn't ask the parents unless he has an inkling that they might work.
That's true.
Yeah. If it doesn't get a chance to go past the lady, it'll never sail. Boat will be sunk in port. Yeah.
When did you know that your sister
I just
had
happened to be
eyes?
at Mom and Dad's house right when Jason showed up. So that was really cool. And keeping it a secret was very, very hard.
So you knew before she did?
Yeah, wow. Which was really cool, and I had to keep my mouth shut.
So when did you know that your sister had eyes for him?
Junior high school. They dated in junior high school, broke up. Dated in high school, broke up. Dated in college, broke up. Dated in graduate school, it broke up. She moved across country for 10 years. They kept in touch as friends, because I went across country and got her, drove back, and the day we pulled up in front of the house, he was at Mom and Dad's waiting for her.
Wow.
Graduate out of junior high, and part of the graduation was sitting next to Katie. You know, S-I-E and S-P-E were very close in the alphabet, so they ended up sitting together in 8th grade graduation. I think that was the beginning.
Were they already a couple when you met him?
When I first met Jason, no, they were not. They started getting very serious here again about 4 or 5 years ago, I guess. And at that point, we bugged him every year asking when is it finally going to occur.
Oh, tell me about your dress.
It's all white. It has like a cup like that. And there's like 3 of these right down here. And I think it like goes down to right here, I think. There. And I got these toes done.
Ooh. Wow. You're going to be gorgeous, aren't you? Mm-hmm.
Has like a 12-foot train.
Oh my goodness.
So it's just got a lot of fabric. So I was thinking of a picture of the stairway
with all of this
Yes,
I'm going to
yes.
change into a different dress for the reception just because it would,
Hang up on everything.
yeah, it would just sort of like become this big cleaning, dusting thing. I don't know what, but with the big dress, that will be really cool.
Yes.
Jason and I met in 8th grade in science class, and the only way I knew he liked me was because when I went over to talk to his friend Sean, who sat next to him, Jason was sitting there reading, but the book was upside down. And the whole time he just kept sort of looking at me and the book was upside down. And then we dated up to the beginning of high school and broke up. And then we dated again at the end of high school until we went to college. And then we broke up again. And then I went off to law school for 8 years. But then when I moved back to California, he was here. And it was just really nice to have somebody that, you know, knew you from day one.
So when did you know he was the one?
I think it was when I was 14.
Really?
Yeah.
I met Katie when I moved back to California back in 1984. We met in junior high. By the second day, I met her. We dated in junior high for a while, broke up, dated in high school, coming out of high school and first part of college for about 2.5, 3 years. Then kind of each went our own separate ways for almost 10 years. And she went off to law school, and I finished my teaching credential. She was going to law school on the East Coast, and I went back there to visit her. And as they say, the rest is history. I just fell in love all over again. Not that I had fallen out of love, because I have absolutely loved her since I was in 8th grade. And I know she loves me as much as I love her. So,
What was it about her that caught your eye?
just thought she was cute as the dickens and absolutely adorable, because she was one of the few girls that I knew that actually had her own bicycle, and not only had her own bicycle but knew how to ride the thing, and knew how to take care of it. So we used to go on long bike rides together. She was just different from every other girl I'd ever met. Just sweeter, nicer, and absolutely beautiful inside and out.
When did you know that you wanted to marry her?
8th grade.
Really?
Yeah. You can ask her, I proposed, and she thought I was kidding, and I wasn't. Then in high school, like I said, life gets in the way. But this time, a couple things just were kind of roadblocks, but those roadblocks just kind of came down, came apart, and so I proposed. And I talked with her dad first, and her mom and her sister were underneath the room when I was trying to talk to her dad. They couldn't figure out why I showed up out of the blue in the middle of the day one day to talk to her dad, thinking that something was wrong with her. And as soon as I said, well, I wanted to talk to Joe about marrying his daughter, they both just started screaming at the top of their lungs. I mean, I thought I was going to pass out for how loud it was. But a lot of people said this is long overdue and a long time coming, and I think it is. So I love her to death. I hope that we're doing this thing again in 50 years as like a a renuptial whatever thing. We'll see.